What you got there, Aiden? Rayquaza Gold Star, pretty nice card you got there.
Yeah.
You got a number in your head that you want? 27 what?
1,000.
You want someone to pay you $27,000?
Yes, sir.
While many attended the Dragapult Regional Championships in LA this past weekend, I was on a different Pokemon-themed adventure. This time, my destination is Conway, Arkansas. I was invited by a local card store there, Trainer Jay's, to be a featured guest at their Collect-A-Conway event, where I would get to connect with fans doing meet and greets and play in their $1,000 cash Gym Leader Challenge tournament. Now, I've been having a good time playing Standard lately. Every Wednesday, Jesse Parker and I do the Deck Busters series here on YouTube, where we talk about the metagame and play various matchups to prepare for upcoming events. A couple weeks ago, I won a Standard League Cup with Dragapult Dusknoir, and at the end of the month, I plan to play in the Indianapolis Regional Championships, where I'm going to see if I can one-up my 2024 top 8 performance there. But I'm also preparing for a big Gym Leader Challenge tournament this month. Every new set release, Full Grip Games hosts a big $6,000 cash doubleheader with a Standard and a Gym Leader Challenge event. Usually, I am the one producing these events. But for the Chaos Rising event on May 23rd and 24th, I am going to get to play in the Gym Leader Challenge 3K. So this event here in Conway is a nice warm-up for me as I prepare for the biggest Gym Leader Challenge tournament that I have ever played in. I'm also just really excited about this opportunity to connect with Gym Leader Challenge players that live in Conway, Arkansas. As the creator of Gym Leader Challenge format, it is so cool to get to meet players and communities all around the world that love and play Gym Leader Challenge. So I'm really stoked to get to connect with these players who otherwise I may have never visited. Huge thank you to Trainer Jay's for inviting me out and allowing me to be a part of this event. Going into this weekend, I didn't know anything about Conway, the city of 60,000 in central Arkansas. So I asked the locals what it's like.
I love it. I grew up here. There's a lot to do, whether people say there is or not.
Small town, not much to do really, but go outside, go fishing, enjoy nature.
You can get anywhere in 15 minutes.
Very quaint, comes with all the good and the bad of being a small town, but still big enough, super diverse. We have 3 universities here, so there's a lot of new ideas coming through.
It's got like a small town feel, but it's just far enough from all the rustle and bustle of the big city that you don't have to worry about all that stuff, but you still have just enough stuff to be able to keep yourself entertained without having to leave town.
It's honestly a really, really lively city. Surrounding area is absolutely beautiful. Massive community of TCG players. It doesn't matter if you're Magic, you're Pokemon.
Man, it's the biggest little town that there is in the state or maybe in the United States. Like I say, I've been here my whole life. We started something small for Pokemon for the community, and it's grown to be something just insanely beautiful. Like, if you get a chance to come to Conway, come to Conway.
Now, it is true that I am here on business to do meet and greets and defend my honor and the honor of Akron, Ohio by defeating everybody in Conway, Arkansas in the format that I made up. But I am also at a trading card convention, so I've got a few side quests. On this trip, I'm looking for bling for my Fighting Gym Leader Challenge deck, which I'll be playing in the 1K. And as always, the retro Pokemon TCG collection must be fed. My wife Natalie and I have about 200 decks in our old deck collection. It's a sickness, really. The best thing to do when you have a bunch of retro Pokemon TCG decks is build more to play them against. So I'm always on the lookout for retro trainers and staples, cards that were good back in the day. I'm also always looking for cards that I just personally like. Natalie sent me on a mission to find a Kingdra Prime for under $30, so that's something I'm looking for. And then, of course, I am dying to meet Veronica Taylor, the voice actress for Ash from the Pokemon anime, and Tara Sands, the voice actress behind many Pokemon like Bulbasaur, who are also special guests at this convention. We're gonna go meet Tara, who is the voice of Bulbasaur. We're gonna see if she'll do a little Bulbasaur for us.
Bulbasaur, Bulba. Can I talk to you about these Topps cards for a minute, though?
I would love it if you did.
Because I'm obsessed with them. So that's how my collection started. I was like, I want something that not everyone's into. So I started a Topps collection, and I was buying like complete sets when I could. And then I do this, so I'll plug my obnoxious podcast. I do this podcast called 4 Kids Flashback, where we go behind the scenes. And on it, I interviewed 2 of the people that were in charge of the Topps Pokemon cards. Because it blew my mind that Wizards of the Coast and Nintendo Pokemon even allowed these cards to happen.
Oh, for sure.
So if you want to learn the story, if you're a nerd like me and you want to learn about the Topps cards, check out 4 Kids Flashback and listen to Joshua Izzo and Ira Friedman. And you'll hear these great stories about how they like individually were splicing the TV show and the movie to get the set. It's so cool. So I'm so glad that this is the card you brought.
Thank you.
Let's see, let it dry. Is it dark enough? Let's see. I like that it kind of looks like part of it. So.
It looks great. The blue match is so nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
It looks
Andrew.
wonderful. Awesome. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank
too.
you. Now we're on to meet Veronica Taylor. I got to meet Rachel Lillis actually years ago before the pandemic. She ended up passing away from breast cancer. It's actually super sad. But Rachel was awesome. She's the voice of Misty, and I have a signed card from Rachel Lillis, who I met at an event. Now I have an opportunity to get kind of Ash's signature, right? So I'm really excited about this, really excited to meet Veronica Taylor. So let's go. Let's see if she'll sign my card.
The energy of this, like
Yes.
the 2 of them, this is how happy they became. But this is showing you how you stand by one another.
I know.
No matter what.
I
It's
know.
just, this has a deep meaning, I think, this card.
It does.
In reality and in your heart.
It's why I chose it.
Yeah.
I felt like it was so good. Ash and Pikachu setting off on their adventure.
I know, I love it.
I can only imagine what your adventure was like, setting off to voice the protagonist of what would become the most lucrative franchise in the world, right? So
Well,
kind of a big deal.
It wasn't when we started,
Yeah.
for sure, because you know how it is. You audition for something, you get cast or you don't get cast.
Yeah.
But it's just like life. It's one day at a time. You show up, you give your 100%, and then you go home and do something else, or you go to another job, or
Yeah.
And so this whole Pokemon was built one day at a time, one person at a time, one fan at a time, one person creating a story that they love, drawing characters, becoming a vet, becoming an archaeologist, all these things it built and built. And that's why I think we still have it to this day.
Sure.
Yes, it's made a lot of money because people invest in things, they buy things, whatever, but more so, I think that the heart of it has grown, you know?
For
For
sure.
all of us, it means so much to us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and this kind of exemplifies that, I think. So
For sure.
anyway, it's very exciting. Yeah, we had no idea when it started that we'd be talking about it for us 28 years later on this 30th year anniversary.
That's amazing.
I know.
Really
I know.
amazing. And
It's incredible.
It's been it's just so cool to watch how much of an impact it's had and all the communities that it's
know.
helped to spawn.
Yeah.
Especially visiting a place like Conway, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Right? And seeing how lively the community is here. I would
Yeah.
have never visited Conway, Arkansas, I don't think, if not for this event.
Maybe,
But I'm really glad I
same
did.
for me. Conway's one of my favorite places, actually. Especially going to Trainer Jay's to go to the store, and we go to the Faulkner County Library. They have great events there, not just about Pokemon, but book
Yeah.
events. They give out seeds there. I mean, the library is the hub. Pokemon being a part of it, Pokemon being a part of this. It's just amazing. And this show last year was not even a quarter of this size, and it has grown.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the community continues to grow. It's Mother's Day. People are still coming out.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. So it is really exciting, but it's all about the people, about the community.
For sure.
And I've been lucky enough to travel around the world, and that feeling, that compassion for others is shared by Pokemon fans everywhere. So it's pretty cool.
That is for you.
And then here's one of our fake Pokemon cards that you can have that my daughter and I made.
Oh, thank you so
You're welcome. Let it dry for a minute.
Of course.
The pen
Thank you so
dries
much,
pretty
Veronica.
fast. But
that's
I think
incredible.
it's nice that it's thin writing because you can really still see the picture. And
It looks incredible.
It all comes
It
out.
looks incredible.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Oh my
I really
gosh, nice
appreciate
meeting
it.
you.
Nice meeting you too.
I'll see you
Thank
again for sure.
Thank you.
I'm sure our journeys.
I'm getting ready for the Gym Leader Challenge tournament. I'm very excited to have this opportunity to play. Usually I'm broadcasting or organizing Gym Leader Challenge events, but to actually get to play in the format that I created with cash on the line, something I'm really excited about. So I'm amped. I mean, I'm as excited as can be. There's $1,000 up for grabs for the top finishers in this GLC event. I've also got the Gym Leader Challenge 3K at Full Grip Games, which I am getting ready for at the end of the month. So I have 2 big GLC tournaments I get to play in this month. I'm just really thankful for this opportunity. I'm playing my fighting deck today, which is a deck that I'm definitely considering for the Chaos Rising 3K. This is kind of a trial run today. I definitely want to see how the deck holds up in a cash tournament environment.
Verify you are on the roster. Please come here in an orderly fashion.
Looks like we got 15 players, $1,000 on the line for 15 players. That's hype. So really hoping that my deck holds up and hoping that that things work as good as they were looking earlier this week. I've been playing this fighting deck to Gym Leader Challenge locals at Full Grip a few times so far. I've gone 4-1 twice, and then I went 3-2 another time. So generally been feeling really positive on this deck. I have been tweaking it little by little each week, but I feel like I'm poised to pop off here any day now. It really does feel like the deck list is super refined.
My fighting deck uses Barbaracle from Perfect Order to accelerate extra energy onto your powerful fighting Pokemon, like Ogie Dogie from Twilight Masquerade with its Adrenopower ability, which can give it plus 100 hit points and make its good punch attack do plus 100 damage if it's got a darkness energy attached to it. So you play a bunch of rainbow-style energies to power up Ogie Dogie. I also play Terrakion from White Flare with the Retaliate attack, which can do 130 damage for 2 if one of your Pokemon was knocked out the previous turn, and Sudowoodo from Breakpoint with the Watch and Learn attack, which can copy any attack your opponent used the previous turn. To help the deck be extra aggressive, I'm also playing Hariyama from Mega Evolution with its Heave-Ho Catcher ability, allowing you to target down exactly what you want to on your opponent's side of the board. And then the most important part of the deck, Solrock and Lunatone team up to make one of the best consistency engines in all of Gym Leader Challenge. My deck is sleeved in my absolute favorite Dragon Shield non-glare black matte sleeves, and I'm thrilled to be storing it in the new Dragon Shield Dragon Lock system. This is a new, not yet released product from Dragon Shield, where they have these modular deck boxes, dice trays, and carrying solutions that all fit together really well. My favorite part about this deck box is that there's a little space in the front where you could keep a marquee Pokemon card to easily identify which deck is in each box. The new Dragon Lock system is super durable and really thoughtfully considered. Dragon Shield's got a bunch of new products releasing this year, and the best sleeves you can buy. Head over to dragonshield.com and pick up a case of your favorite sleeves today, and don't forget to use code TRICKYGYM at checkout for 5% off your order. Again, that's dragonshield.com for the best sleeves and accessories you can buy, and don't forget to use code TRICKYGYM at checkout for 5% off your order.
Got the dub round 1 of the GLC tournaments, played a fighting mirror. I was nervous because after my first deck search, I found that both my Lunatone and my Hisuian Heavy Ball were prized. Again, this happened to me in League a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, surely that's just really low variance, wouldn't happen again. And then here we are in round 1 of the GLC 1K, and I cannot access my draw engine. But fortunately for me, things went way worse for my opponents as he played N on turn 1 and then proceeded to dead draw for like 8 straight turns while I just cleaned up shop with Ogie Dogie. So we got the dub. I see that there are a couple players playing Monkey Dory Psychic with the Natu and Blindside. That can be a tough matchup for fighting for sure. I definitely have a route though. If I just go fast, take prizes quickly, I can kind of bully them off the board. So that's going to be what we're trying to do. Off to a great start, 1-0, feeling good.
What did the pirate say on his birthday?
I don't know.
I'm 80. It's because it sounds like I'm 80. That's the joke.
Got the dub round 2, played against Colorless. It's a really good matchup for fighting. Obviously, you're hitting everything for weakness, which is awesome. But I also just set up really smooth, got a turn 2 attack, and then from turn 3 onward, I was just attacking with Ogie Dogie. And the real crux of the match is that my opponent had to 3-hit KO Ogie Dogie. And if a single Ogie Dogie can go 3 for 1, I mean, that's half the prizes Ogie Dogie took in the game, which is just ridiculous. Ogie Dogie, easy MVP, just put him up there, let him do his thing. Now there is a Monkey Dory Psychic at 2-0 as well that I saw, so that could be a tough matchup if I have to face that one next. But as it is right now, deck is flowing absolutely perfectly, and I'm very happy with it. 3-0, baby, 3-0. Got a quick dub against Dragon. I was really nervous about my opponent lost zoning one of my rocks in the opening sequence of the game, because that's how I lose, is when one of my key pieces like Soul Rock or Lunatone or Ogie Dogie ends up in the lost zone. So I decided to retreat my Soul Rock into Terrakion so that my rock didn't get sent to the lost zone. If rock goes to the lost zone, then you have trouble drawing throughout the game, just gets ugly. So I retreated into Terrakion, but then my opponent didn't have anything. After charging up Rayquaza on the bench, they just had to pass, and I had the perfect play. I was able to Karina for Escape Rope, bring the Rayquaza into the active spot, knock it out with Ogie Dogie, and then my opponent, sure enough, just didn't have anything else in their hand. So Ogie Dogie just swept quick 2 prizes to win. Then we played a fun game, and my opponent also bricked that game after an Iono didn't find anything else, and Ogie Dogie won quickly again. So the deck is doing exactly what I built it to do. I wanted this list to be hyper consistent. I have lots of cards that get me exactly what I want, like Karina, Skyla, Arven. Those all tutor items and trainer cards. And then I've got a lot of cards that search me special energy in stadiums, like Colress's Tenacity and Guzma and Hala. And the stadium cards are also consistency cards for this deck because you've got Brooklet Hill and Tropical Beach. So the deck is really just oozing with consistency. The concept is that if you just start attacking with Ogie Dogie on the second turn of the game, almost every single game, you're probably going to win many of those games. So that is proving to be accurate here so far, as I'm 3-0. It's 5 rounds, so I may play my next round, or I might ID twice, kind of just see what my opponents want to do. If they want to, you know, intentional draw back-to-back games to guarantee top 4. 3-0-2 is guaranteed top 4, so that might be what we end up doing. But, you know, I came here to play, so I may end up deciding just to play my 4th and 5th round and kind of see how things go. The deck is running absolute flames right now, so, you know, I don't have any problem with playing it out either, but feeling really good. Feeling really, really good. The deck is popping off. Just took a tough L in rounds number 4 against Psychic. That's the matchup that I'm worried about for sure. I was excited about how the game started. I opened strong, got a quick attack with Soul Rock, but then my opponent Iono'd me, and the 5 cards that I got were not great. I had to use Clara to kind of help dig out of it and see more cards, but wasn't able to take a knockout on that next turn. And that really started to set the pace for the rest of the game. Eventually, I was able to get Ogie Dogie going, but Ogie Dogie is weak to Psychic, so it just gets one-hit KO'd by Iron Boulder. And I made a crucial misplay, which actually did end up making quite a difference. So I had this turn where I got Parallel City off of Culver's Tenacity, and I slammed it. And I didn't stop to think for a second that I needed to use my own Brooklet Hill first to bring my Sudowoodo out of the deck, because Sudowoodo can actually one-hit KO Iron Boulder by copying Adjusted Horn for 170. 170 minus the 30 for Iron Boulder's resistance is 140. So it takes the clean KO. Instead, I ended up going through that sequence without getting the Sudowoodo out. So when my Ogie Dogie got knocked out, I ended up having to promote Terrakion, and Terrakion whiffed the knockout against the Iron Boulder. And that really kind of cracked the door open for my opponent to start coming back in the game. And then at the end, I ended up having to go for a Hail Mary play with an Iono, hoping that he wouldn't be able to piece together the not to blindside play. And this is kind of the defining play of this not to blindside deck. Just being able to go Strange Timepiece, devolve your Xatu, and attach TM blindside to your not to, so that not to, who has the ancient trait, Delta Plus or something? It allows it to take an additional prize card whenever it takes a knockout. So if you use Blindside with the not to, you get to take 2 prizes when you take a knockout. Blindside allows the not to deal 100 damage to a Pokemon that has damage counters on it already, which my opponent was able to set up earlier in the game with Blacephalon and Giratina with its Distortion Door ability. So just a tough one. I'm 3-1 now, and with 15 players, 5 rounds, I mean, 4-1's definitely safe. 3-1-1 is probably safe. I mean, my resistance is probably pretty good, as I started 3-0, but it's hard to say. And really, final round is just gonna be whatever my opponent wants to do. If my opponent wants to ID, we can do that and try to get our way into top 4. But honestly, again, I'm here to play, so 4-1 would be cool going into top 4. Just really want to make top 4. Would really be upset if I end up losing this next one too. That would be a bummer. So we'll see. Just got the win in round 5. Feeling great. I'm locked for top 4 with a record of 4-1. My opponent Joa was playing Metal, and unfortunately he had just a little bit of a slow start, stumbled out the gates, and I started putting on pressure immediately with Soul Rock, then Ogie Dogie. Now Joa is playing the Archaludon, which can prevent damage from basic Pokemon. That can be tough for me to deal with, but I do have Hariyama in the deck, and Hariyama can just do 210 damage. So I was leveraging that, and also I was able to Guzma up and knock out the Archaludon before it was actually able to attack to protect itself from basic Pokemon. So that really kind of set the stage for the win. The top tables right now, it looks like it's me and Buddy, who was on the Psychic deck that I lost to in round 4. My Dragon opponent that I played is also looking like he's poised to make top 4 if he can beat Buddy's Psychic deck. Who got this one? Buddy? Or no, what's your name again? Hayden, that's right, Hayden. Congrats, dude. Hayden just beat Buddy. Hayden was the Dragon player I played earlier, so Hayden locked up top 4 with a record of 4-1. Buddy is locked for top 4 with a record of 4-1. I'm locked for top 4 with a record of 4-1. So we got 3 4-1s. And then the final game going right now is actually going to decide a lot, because if the Psychic player wins, they will also be 4-1. So we'll have a clean cut with all 4 4-1s. But if the darkness player wins, then there will be multiple 3-2s that are next up, and it'll come down to resistance to see who that 4th seed is at 3 and 2. So exciting. Could be 2 psychic decks, a fighting deck, and a dragon in top 4. But we could also see a darkness in there, or a metal. I think, are we playing? I think so. I think so, right? You're the 3rd seed? All right, so top 4 is set. Buddy got the 1 seed. I am 2nd seed, so thankfully I don't have to play Buddy unless we both make finals. And I am playing against Hayden again, the dragon matchup in top 4. We're doing 90 minutes, best of 3, plenty of time. I'm stoked. Let's freaking get after it. Let's do this thing. 90 minutes.
Andrew, I got some hella content coming for you here later, I promise.
Oh yeah, you got content, bro?
What are you brewing something?
No, I'm gonna have him sign a card.
Oh, let's go.
Take a wild guess what it's gonna be.
A tricky gym? A Kofu? I've tried many Kofu.
You know me, what do you think it's gonna be?
A beach.
Let's content, dog.
Oh yeah. God, to defile a tropical beach.
And it's a staff beach too.
I know.
It's a staff beach too.
I know, man. I would make it look nice. Oh my God, what a stressful top 4. That was exciting. I mean, a lot of back and forth action. Got absolutely smacked game 1, and down game 1, I'm feeling like I really am gonna have to 2-0 from here. That's a lot of work. Can't afford another dead draw. But then going into game 2, he goes Dreepy Pass, and I just go Soul Rock, Lunatone, knockout game. So we're on to game 3. Game 1 and 2 took like 5 minutes. So we're on to game 3 like that. And what's hysterical is that I played Hayden in Swiss, and I had a really quick game against him in Swiss. And then I was like, oh, sure, let's play like a fun game. And then I donked him in game 2 too. So like, we had played 4 straight games where it was either just, you know, you either wreck or get wrecked. And then finally, game 3 of our top 4 set was like a really good game. He goes 2nd and gets the quick attack with Rayquaza. I'm able to stabilize with the Tropical Beach on my 2nd turn, but I do go down 2 prizes really fast. So I had to dig myself out of that hole. I was really kind of proud of how the deck functioned and how I navigated that. The reset stamp was super clutch, being able to set him to a 3-card hand in the mid game while he's trying to keep pace with his attackers, building them up turn after turn. And I was able to kind of keep his energy low so that he wasn't ever able to use Hex Maniac to take a knockout on Ogie Dogie or anything like that. And then at the end of the game, I actually doubled up special energy on Ogie Dogie so that the Enhanced Hammer, which I knew he played, would not be able to reduce Ogie Dogie's hit points because it has 2 darkness energy attached to it. So really good set, really fun games. I mean, just like what a nail biter, you know? Stoked to be able to pull that one out. So now I'm going on to the finals. I'm guaranteed at least $200 because 2nd place gets $200, 1st place gets $300. So we'll see who I'm playing against in the finals and how that one goes. I'm really stoked. I mean, mission accomplished. We're in the finals. Let's go.
On the other side of the bracket, Buddy here on the left and Jack on the right had a super close psychic mirror that went to time in game 3 with Buddy just barely skating by with the win. So the finals will be Buddy, the number 1 seed of the event, and the only player I lost to in Swiss against myself, Psychic versus Fighting. And I'm really anxious to see if this Psychic matchup is one that I can overcome, since it was my only loss in Swiss. Going first in the finals, I opened Binacle to Buddy's Mimikyu and Nestball. Take a look at my prizes and immediately realize that my Soul Rock is prized, but that's okay because Hisuian Heavy Ball is in the deck, so I'll be able to fetch my Soul Rock later. I've got Terrakion and Strong Energy in hand and decide to use Nest Ball to go get Makuhita so that I can maybe evolve into Hariyama and target down one of Buddy's support Pokemon early in the game. With Strong Energy on Terrakion, its Retaliate attack is actually doing 70 damage without a Pokemon having been knocked out, which does knock out Mimikyu as well. And Terrakion is not weak to Psychic, has 140 hit points, so is a decent enough lead, to be honest. And if I can evolve into Barbaracle, I can actually start using Land Crush on Terrakion as early as turn 2. Buddy has an extremely intimidating opening hand. Pokepad searches out Iron Boulder, the best attacker in Buddy's deck, which does 170 damage for 2 energy so long as hand sizes are matched. And then uses Mysterious Treasure to discard a Psychic Energy and search out Not To, and has Wondrous Patch to accelerate that Psychic Energy onto his benched Iron Boulder. And then Lily's Determination for a fresh hand of 8 cards. Off the Lilies, he finds Telepathic Psychic Energy and attaches it to Mimikyu to finish filling out his bench with Blacephalon and Monkey Dory before ending the turn with a Filch for 2. I'm definitely sweating. This is an intimidating start, but I do see that Buddy did not search out Inkay with the Telepathic Psychic Energy, so I do know that maybe Inkay or Malamar may be prized, which does give me a chance to maybe attack his energy acceleration at some point this game. My turn isn't great. I have Iono to refresh my hand and Fighting Gong to search out Lunatone, even though my Soul Rock is prized. I do have Karina, which can search Hisuian Heavy Ball next turn, and just have to pass it back to Buddy, fully expecting him to get the turn 2 knockout with Iron Boulder. Even though Terrakion has a tough time getting the return knockout on Iron Boulder, thanks to its minus 30 fighting resistance, Sudowoodo from Breakpoint actually gets the job done very well, which is why it's in this deck. Sudowoodo can use Watch and Learn to copy Adjusted Horn to deal 170 damage, which does get the clean one-hit knockout on Iron Boulder. So I feel good with Sudowoodo on my bench. Thankfully for me, Buddy's second turn is much more tame than his first. He evolves into Kirlia and attaches a second Psychic Energy to Iron Boulder and matches hand sizes at 5 cards to take the knockout on my Binacle with Adjusted Horn. Notably, he doesn't use Kirlia's Refinement ability or play a supporter card so that he can guarantee hand match at 5 and take the first knockout of the game. Now that Buddy has taken a knockout, Terrakion is ready to party. I use Karina to search out Hisuian Heavy Ball and Hariyama, and immediately slam the Hariyama using its Heave-Ho Catcher ability to bring Buddy's Kirlia into the active spot. Removing Kirlia this early is huge, as I know the Psychic deck relies heavily on Kirlia and Gallade for consistency. And with Hisuian Heavy Ball, I fetch Soul Rock out of the prizes and can start using Lunatone's Lunar Cycle ability to draw more cards. Before taking the knockout, I'm able to search out Okidogi with Quick Ball and get a Fighting Energy attached to it, which means that I'll be ready to respond to Iron Boulder next turn with a good punch. Without Kirlia to draw cards, Buddy has another pretty tame turn. He plays Colress's Tenacity to search out Artisan and Mystery Energy, and attaches Mystery Energy to Blacephalon before hand matching at 5 for another Adjusted Horn knockout. With Rainbow in hand, I safely send up Okidogi to deal with this Iron Boulder. I Lunar Cycle and play Colress's Tenacity. Colress's Tenacity allows me to play Parallel City to further hinder Buddy's setup, limiting his bench to just 3 cards, while also finding Luminous Energy. It's a great opportunity for me to attach Luminous Energy to my Okidogi, since he doesn't have another special energy attached, and Luminous Energy will provide the darkness needed to activate Adrena Power. And crucially, I find Night Stretcher, which allows me to recover Binacle and put it on the bench. I've got Barbaracle in my hand, and this Luminous Energy on Okidogi is the last energy attachment that I have before I'll need Barbaracle to help accelerate more energy into play to stream attackers after this. That is if, of course, Buddy can take this return knockout. Buddy's got Training Court and Night Stretcher for Iron Boulder before using Versus Seeker to play Lily's Determination for a fresh hand of 6. With Training Court in play and Not To on the bench, it is possible for Buddy to hit this knockout off the Lilies, but I've got 7 cards in hand. so it's going to be tough for Buddy to hand match for Adjusted Horn. As I expected, with a lackluster board developed, Buddy had to take this turn to recoup before he's able to launch another attack. He was able to recover Ralts, but just has to send up Mimikyu again to filch for 2. Now that we're tied on prizes with myself poised to take the next knockout, this cracks the door open for me to establish a strong board and take command of this game. When I go to 3 prizes, Buddy will be able to take a knockout with Blacephalon's Fireworks Bomb, probably knocking out Sudowoodo or a rock or something, but there's not much I can do about that, so I just have to establish as good of a board as I can and be prepared to withstand the Fireworks Bomb, make sure that I don't get my Hariyama stuck in the active while at 3 prizes, because that would be devastating and certainly allow Buddy to win with multiple Fireworks Bomb for 12 turn after turn. With Barbarackle in play, I use Stone Arms to get a bonus energy attached to Sudowoodo, and then Guzma to bring up Ralts into the active spot so that I can knock it out with Soul Rock. I really like keeping my Okidogi and Sudowoodo powered up on the bench while leading Soul Rock. There aren't any big targets that need to be knocked out with Good Punch right now, so saving that 170 damage attack for later is certainly in my best interest. Also, if Buddy comes up and uses Blacephalon to take a knockout next turn, I could actually copy Fireworks Bomb with Sudowoodo to knock out one of his key support Pokemon. So he might have to think twice about that. In response, Buddy has a very solid turn and is finally able to establish a stable board state. He evolves Inkay into Malamar and uses Hilda to search out Xatu and Counter Energy before using Blacephalon's Fireworks Bomb to knock out my Sudowoodo. He had also used Trainer's Mail and found Raihan, so I know with Raihan and Counter Energy in hand, he could easily devolve his Xatu with Strange Timepiece and use TM Blindside with Natu to take a 2-prize turn and regain the lead. Fully aware of how threatening Buddy's next turn could be, I play this turn as defensively as possible. I use Arven to search out Reset Stamp and set Buddy to just a 3-card hand. I recover Sudowoodo and then use Field Blower to remove Training Court from play to make it more difficult for Buddy to get extra energy onto Xatu. I take the knockout on Blacephalon with Okidogi's Good Punch, then wait to see what Buddy found off these 3 cards. His first move of the turn is to use Clairvoyant Sense to accelerate an energy to Xatu. And at this point, I know I am in trouble. Malamar's Psychic Recharge attaches a Psychic Energy from the discard pile to Xatu, and then Professor's Letter searches out 2 energy from the deck. Then the Teammates comes down, which can only be played if a Pokemon was knocked out last turn, and allows Buddy to search his deck for whatever 2 cards he wants, like Strange Timepiece and TM Blindside. With Strange Timepiece, he devolves his Xatu and attaches TM Blindside to Natu so that he can use the Blindside attack to knock out my Soul Rock and take 2 prizes because of Natu's Delta Plus trait, which says that it takes an additional prize card every time it takes a knockout. And just like that, my 2-3 lead has been evaporated, and Buddy is just 1 knockout away from the win in Game 1. Buddy has 6 cards in hand and an Iron Boulder on the bench at the ready with Counter Energy attached. I wish I had Iono to set Buddy's hand to 1 card, but I don't have it. I just have to use Clara to bring Soul Rock and some Fighting Energy back so that I can Lunar Cycle and dig further into the deck. But I do find Enhanced Hammer, which critically allows me to remove that Counter Energy from Buddy's benched boulder, making it a little bit more difficult for him to take the return knockout. Also, with the Clara played, my hand is huge, so it might be difficult for Buddy to match hand sizes for Iron Boulder anyway. This is it, the moment of truth. The ball is in Buddy's court. He sends up Malamar, uses Psychic Recharge to attach a Psychic Energy from the discard pile to Mimikyu, uses Nest Ball to search out Giratina, recycle energy to Mimikyu, and Guzma brings Hariyama, who is weak to Psychic, into the active spot, and Mimikyu uses Copycat to copy Good Punch for 10 damage short of the win. Good Punch only does 70 damage. Mimikyu copying it only does 140 damage to Hariyama. The only reason why Good Punch is any good is because of Okidogi's Adrenopower ability, which Mimikyu cannot copy. Buddy checked his discard pile before using Nest Ball to search out Giratina. If Giratina was in the discard pile, it could have used Distortion Door to place that extra damage counter onto Hariyama, and Buddy would have won this game. But Buddy was 10 damage short, and I have Float Stone in hand to retreat Hariyama and go up game 1 with Okidogi for the win. Going first in game 2, I don't exactly have a barn burner of an opening hand. There are no supporters here, and a single Ultra Ball. I could play this Ultra Ball to go get an Okidogi, or maybe a Soul Rock or Lunatone or something, but I actually think it's correct to save this Ultra Ball so that I can maximize my outs to top decking out of this. If I draw into Soul Rock or Lunatone or any ball search card, I could go search my deck for the other rock that I need and start using Lunar Cycle next turn. I'm not really concerned about Buddy winning on the first turn of the game, though it is possible, so I just pass. My mind already starts to wander as I hope for a better start in game 3 where I'll get to go second, but then Buddy uses Professor's Letter and just attaches an energy to his Giratina before saying pass. So we've got ourselves a real game here. I top deck Cynthia and Caitlyn, which allows me to discard a card from my hand and draw 3 cards. And off of that, I find Quick Ball, which means that I could use Quick Ball and Ultra Ball to go get Soul Rock and Lunatone so that I could start churning through my deck with Lunar Cycle. But my Soul Rock is prized, so we're gonna have to go with a different plan. I do play Hisuian Heavy Ball and Town Map, which does give me some play into my prize cards. Hisuian Heavy Ball searches for a basic Pokemon out of your prize cards, and you swap the Heavy Ball with that Pokemon. And then Town Map, which I played last game, allows you to play the rest of the game with your prize cards face up. It's not looking great, but when in doubt, search out Okidogi, put a Rainbow Energy on it, and say go. Buddy's turn is exciting. He top decks Ralts, slams it onto the table so that he doesn't lose to an Okidogi next turn, attaches an energy to Giratina, and says pass. I top deck Pokepad, and now things are getting interesting. Both of us only have 2 Pokemon in play. Both of us have an attacker that with 1 additional energy can knock the other out. Giratina hits Okidogi for weakness with Shadow Impact, dealing 260 damage. Okidogi will deal 170 damage with Good Punch. So I have to target down this Giratina, but my only switch card in hand is Escape Rope. So I use Pokepad to search out Hariyama, and Hariyama uses Heave Ho Catcher to bring Ralts into the active spot. Then I use Escape Rope to bring the Giratina back out so that Okidogi can knock it out. And at this point, I feel pretty good. I mean, I don't have a board state, but I should be in the clear here. I am not in the clear. Buddy top decks Raihan and can bring Giratina back with Distortion Door, uses Raihan to attach a Psychic Energy from the discard pile to Giratina, and he gets to search his deck for whatever card he wants, like U-Turn Board, to pivot this Ralts out of the active spot. And with Counter Energy in hand, he can just attach that to Giratina and Shadow Impact for the knockout on my Okidogi, leaving me with just a lone Hariyama and Soul Rock prized. All hope is not lost. I top deck Guzma and Hala, a supporter card that allows me to search my deck for a Stadium, a Tool card, and a Special Energy. I use Fighting Gong to search out Terrakion and attach the Strong Energy and Muscle Band in hand to the Terrakion so that it'll be ready to retaliate for knockout next turn if Giratina takes another KO. Then use Guzma and Hala to search out U-Turn Board, Rainbow Energy, and the perfect stadium for a game like this, where my Soul Rock decided not to show up and I'm drawing like crap. Tropical Beach. Tropical Beach is a stadium that allows you to end your turn by filling your hand to 7 cards. Exactly what I need in this moment. I have to take this turn off attacking, which is fine because I plan to retake the momentum in this match next turn. But he has Pokepad, which he uses to search out Kirlia so that he can evolve Ralts and start using Refinement to churn through his deck. Finds Inkay and benches it, uses Night Stretcher to bring a Psychic back from the discard pile to attach to Giratina, and Field Blower to remove my Tropical Beach and Muscle Band from Terrakion before taking another knockout and the lead with Giratina Shadow Impact. Alright Terrakion, it's all up to you. No pressure, big dog. Holy crap, I top deck Hisui and Heavy Ball. Let's go. Better late than never, Solrock. Welcome to the finals. You've got $300 to win. I've got Rescue Stretcher for Okidogi and my own Raihan, which I can use to attach a fighting energy from my discard pile to Terrakion and search my deck for Lunatone. And now we're cooking. God, it feels so good to use Lunar Cycle. Nest Ball fetches me Binacle, and Brooklet Hill grabs Sudowoodo. I attach Rainbow Energy for turn to Okidogi and Retaliate for a perfect math knockout on Giratina. 130 damage plus the 20 from Strong does 150 damage minus the 20 for Giratina's resistance. Resistances used to be minus 20 during the Sun and Moon era, and that is enough to one-hit KO Giratina and tie this game back up. But Buddy has a really solid turn queued up. Buddy Poffin gets him Mimikyu and Natu, and then Teammates allows him to establish a really strong board with Malamar and Monkey Dory. He uses Monkey Dory's Adrenabrain to move 3 damage counters from his own board to Sudowoodo, and then, with the help of Wondrous Patch, uses Mimikyu's Copycat to copy Terrakion's Retaliate for 130 damage. Interestingly, Buddy decided not to take the knockout on the active Terrakion with Adrenabrain. I suspect he's trying to queue up some sort of multi-prize turn with Blacephalon once I go to 3 prizes. I use Lunar Cycle, assess my options, and decide that my path forward is pretty simple. Buddy has a small hand, and the last couple turns he used Raihan and Teammates, and I suspect that his options are dwindling. So it's a great time for me to bring up Kirlia with Lysander, attach an additional fighting energy to Terrakion, and Land Crush for the knockout. My hope in doing this is to limit Buddy's draw and options as much as possible, and maybe get him to miss the Blacephalon attack next turn. Sure enough, Buddy top decks Blacephalon, benches it, and has Versus Seeker to play Teammates again. And here, things start to get a little strange. Buddy doesn't have any Psychic Energy in the discard pile to charge into play with Malamar, so off the Teammates, he gets Battle Compressor. But then, he doesn't have an additional energy in hand in order to attach to Blacephalon and take the double knockout, and doesn't decide to get the second energy off of Teammates, instead opting for Hex Maniac. He uses Adrenabrain to knock out my Terrakion and finds N off the prizes, doesn't get the attack with Blacephalon despite charging an energy onto it with Malamar, but instead just has to settle for an attack with Mimikyu, copying Land Crush for 100 damage to my Lunatone. Lunatone's not a bad target for Land Crush, as Giratina will be able to finish it off with Distortion Door the following turn, but I can't help but feel like somewhere along the line in this turn, Buddy could have made a tighter play. I didn't know what the extra card that Buddy grabbed off of Teammates was. It ended up being Hex Maniac, which would have been very good next turn, as it would have allowed him to take the knockout on Okidogi with Monkey Dory. So I play Skyla for Reset Stamp and set Buddy's hand to a random 3 cards. He has not drawn a ton in this game. He's played a lot of supporters that tutor specific cards out of his deck, so I'm really hoping that this hand disruption here sticks. And then I take the knockout with Okidogi, good punch, go to 2 prizes, and we see what Buddy's got off the stamp. As I'd hoped for, Buddy's stamp hand is not great. He's able to use Monkey Dory to move a damage counter to Lunatone, knocking it out, and tying the game up at 2-2 prizes. He does have Tropical Beach in hand, so he could lay the beach down and just take the turn off attacking to fill his hand to 7 cards and try to win the following turn with a not too blindside play. But now that I'm kind of thinking about it, that play might be difficult since Raihan, Teammates, and Versus Seeker are all in the discard pile. So Buddy makes the play that you make when you got nothing else going on in the Psychic deck. Send up Monkey Dory, Mind Bend for confusion, and hope for the best. Unfortunately for me, I don't have an easy way out of this confusion. I used my Escape Rope and Guzma earlier in the game, so switch outs are limited, and in order to draw more cards with Lunatone, I have to get it out of the discard pile. So I play Terragon as my supporter for turn, recovering Terrakion, a couple of fighting energy, and Lunatone use Lunar Cycle to draw a few more cards, and think. I can't attack with Terrakion into the Monkey Dory as it doesn't take a knockout without Premium Power Pro, and if I retreat this Rainbow Energy off of the Ogie Dogie, it dies because the Adrenopower ability will no longer be active. So I bench Terrakion, load it up with energy, and flip for it with Ogie Dogie. Heads, and the attack knocks out Monkey Dory, and it's a heads. I am so amped, and at this point, I am sure that I have won the set. With absolutely nothing going on in his hand, Buddy pokes my Ogie Dogie for 40 more damage, but I've got Fighting Energy and Guzma with Terrakion to close it out, and I become the GLC 1K winner at Collect a Conway.
Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. We got the win. Great games against Buddy. Pleasure playing you, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. The dog was too much.
Yeah,
dog was too much.
Yeah, you know, we got that dog in him. Let's go. 300 smackers. All right, buddy, what do you got there?
So, I have this Worlds 2012 Staff Tropical Beach. And I'm gonna have Andrew sign this.
Oh my God, you want me to defile your beach?
Oh, 100%. Like, it's just cardboard. What am I gonna, like, I'm just gonna play it on my GLC deck.
I'm honored. Let's go. Let's freaking go. There you go.
Hell yeah, brother.
So what do we got going on over here?
Every single time somebody goes undefeated or wins one of our tournaments, they get to wear this belt, take a picture, and show it off on social media. You're the first person out of the state to get to do that. Officially.
It's a coup. Oh, it's a coup! Oh yeah, Trainer Jays, let's go, let's go. Who's your GLC daddy? Yep, that's right, that's right. It's me, Tricky Jim, maybe. Tricky Jim wearing the belt. Man, feels good. Feels real nice. All right. It looks great. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thanks, dude. Thanks, I appreciate it.
I had no idea what to expect during my first visit to Conway, Arkansas. But during my short visit there, I was beyond impressed with the Pokemon TCG community and hope to one day return. I met some awesome people, made some new friends, and picked up a ton of Pokemon cards. Thanks again to Trainer Jays for inviting me out. And if you want to learn more about Gym Leader Challenge format, head over to gymleaderchallenge.com. If you enjoyed this video and want to follow along for more of my Pokemon TCG adventures, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching.